What's up guys, it's Magaz here connecting you to Airsoft. Excuse the voice, I have a little bit of barrywhitis. It's what happens when a 3-year-old sneezes in your mouth. Good times all around. Today there's no teleprompter, so I might waffle on a little bit. This jacket, recent addition to my collection, and I'm super keen for Peen to talk about this. I'm going to do some more of these videos in the future talking about interesting pieces from my camo collection. Primarily these will be DPM items like what we're taking a look at today, because I'm a big fanboy of DPM, as you might have noticed. Let's jump in and take a look at this guy. These were previously issued to the Jordanian police in this alias fuck Blue DPM. Now this got my attention when I found it on eBay because the picture made it look like Batis Up 4 DPM, you know, the classic British blue Up 4 DPM. And I thought, dude, that's pretty cool. Unfortunately, the pattern is quite significantly different when you hold it up to Up 4 Blue DPM for comparison. And I mean, it's still cool. You could still wear it with Up 4 gear and it would blend in fine. So it's not too big an issue. Just thought if you wanted to buy one of these and you were thinking you're gonna get Up 4 DPM, just bear that in mind that it is subtly different. So this jacket, well, it is Jordanian DPM on the outside. It is desert night grid pattern on the inside, but in a really interesting blue colorway to match the rest of the jacket. This jacket is a 90% polyester, 10% cotton build. I believe the polyester is this side and the cotton is this side. So it makes this side kind of waterproof and windproof, and the inside just a general smock. I initially thought this was going to be a similar kind of fabric to the British Parkers and the British smocks, and I was kind of disappointed when it arrived and it is this kind of waffly fabric. But, you know, it is what it is, isn't it? Internally, it does come with this guy. This is a Wubby style liner, which is pretty cool if you're going to be using it in a cold climate. I'm in Britain, so often quite chilly to be honest, but it does make the jacket a little bit unfashionable when you wear it. It makes the sleeves quite bulky, it makes the body quite bulky. It is already quite a weird jacket to wear, and that just makes it a little bit puffier and less cool. So I won't be wearing it with that, but obviously I'll be keeping hold of that because on the off chance that I do want to go somewhere cold and want to wear this jacket, it makes sense to throw that back in there. That, when it's in there, is just attached by these little buttons that you can see just here, but we'll go into that in detail in a minute. From top to bottom, we have a hood in the back. It's just your standard unzip, roll out hood, Velcro closure at the front to cover your mouth. It has some elastic shock cord, which is dog shit. We'll talk about that in a minute. The hood is a real disappointment. It's badly stitched together. The actual way that it comes out and just leaves the whole jacket open to the inside, to the elements. It's a bit disappointing. I'm not really gonna go into too much detail on the hood because it is dog shit. On the front, we have a zip. Obviously, it is a pretty low quality zip. It's got plastic teeth. The slider, it feels like, imagine if you got a zip out of a Christmas cracker. It's definitely super cheap, but it is reversible because this jacket, obviously, it is reversible. You can wear either the Blue DPM or the Blue Desert Night Grid as the outside facing pattern. We have some press stud buttons. I believe there's 5 of them, one on either side obviously, so it clips together on this double breast flap. On the flap, we have a press stud secured rank slide epaulet, so you can put your rank or identification on there. Further down, we have 2 hand warmer pockets. These are just your standard dog dirt basic hand warmer pockets. They've got a flap, they've got a zip, same zip as this. Inside, lined with that super nice blue Desert Night Grid pattern. Down at the bottom, we have a cinchable waist. It uses the same shock cord as the hood. It is dog shit. It's probably about 4 to 4.5 mil thick. Super slick, so it, like, any knot you put in it, after 5 minutes of wangling it about, it comes undone, and then once you've cinched it in, you've got 2 foot of cord on either side that is just dangling about, hitting you in the knees. And that's not what you're going to hit in your knees between your legs, is it? So my plan is to ditch this cord and get a much thicker, maybe 6 mil cord. These will have a better grip on because they don't really retain this very well because it's obviously quite a thin shock cord, and these, I guess, are designed for something much thicker. So it is what it is. It's not a big issue, but if you want to cinch it up like I do, it's going to cause you some trouble. The sleeves, there's no Velcro or anything on the sleeves, so just slick sleeves. There are some air vents on the underside. You've got 8 of those on each sleeve. Let some nice airflow through. The cinches on here are on both the outside and the inside, so whichever way you're wearing it, you can cinch those sleeves in to fit you, stop those drafts getting in, or you can double Dutch it, you know, like double prophylactic. You can have that condom and that bloody pill right there, you know, so you definitely double not getting your arms pregnant. But obviously I'm just going to use whichever one is on the outside because that's how I like to roll. The back, you can see up here is the access to the hood, which we'll take a look at now. It unzips. Inside is lined with the Desert Night Grid fabric. All the edges inside are not bound, so they're all just exposed. So if you leave it open, they're going to start to fray eventually with excessive use. When we pull this hood out, the compartment here for the hood isn't just a closed compartment like you get in a more expensive or a better built jacket. It turns the entire back into a pocket, so you could put shit in there if you wanted. So the hood itself has Velcro, so you can actually close it over your mouth. Then it has the shock cord. There's a little peak, so you can like, whoa, got a peak, mate. It's just not a very well built hood at all. It is what it is. I didn't buy this jacket for the hood. The hood's an optional extra, which is why I see it. So 60% of the time I wear it, the hood is going to be rolled up and put back in there every time. You see here as well, the stitching on the edge of this is not very well done, but the stitching on all of the jacket leaves a little bit to be desired. It isn't AliExpress, Wish.com style garment, but it is an issue kit standard. The stitching, I think, will start to tear and come apart with excessive use. It's made in China, and you can tell. That's not to say that everything made in China is dog shit, but this isn't the best quality. Quick drink before we continue. So let's flip this bad boy around and take a look at that Desert Night Grid on the inside. So with it flipped around to Desert Night Grid, you'll see one of the issues you have is the button flap is now actually on the inside, and it does make it awkward to zip up. So I guess to use it, you'd have to fold it inwards. The zip is now on the opposite side to what you'd generally be used to, but it still does the job. You'll also notice that all of the features, I guess, for it's the DPM side around are now either missing or on the outside. So the buttons to hold the aligner in, they're all on the outside. They all the way around the hood, end of the sleeves, all the way down the center zip, they're just on the outside. They are basically default buttons, poorly stitched on, and if you're doing anything in this jacket at some point, they're going to get caught, and if the stitching doesn't break off and the button comes off, it's definitely going to tear the jacket. So this side it's just a really lightweight cotton. It's kind of like the kind of cotton you might make a dress shirt out of. It's super thin and not what I would expect a police issue jacket to be made out of. The other big thing is now the label is just on the outside. I am planning on cutting that off if I ever wear it this way around, but for now it can stay on there because obviously it's a piece of kit in my collection that I'd like to keep pretty much as is without modification, obviously aside from that shock cord. What you'll also notice is the zip for the hood is now on the inside of the collar, which is going to make it a little bit uncomfortable on your neck if you're wearing it for excessive amounts of time, or if you're wearing this with a rifle slung, if that rifle is on that collar, that's going to dig into your neck and that's going to be uncomfortable. Another downside to wearing it this way is there are no hand warmer pockets, they're all on the inside. There is this pocket on the right hand side up here and lined with the Desert Night Grid pattern. Works really nicely as an inside pocket when this is the inside, but as an outside pocket, it's not really the best, is it? I mean, if you're going to be wearing this under load carrying equipment, that's not really going to be accessible, whereas the hand warmer pockets might be. This side isn't really that well thought out, but it looks cool. And I'd like to know the thinking behind this colorway. Were the people who designed this thinking that this was going to give them some effective camouflage against night vision devices? Because that's obviously what Desert Night Grid was intended to do during the first Gulf War. Obviously with modern technology night vision devices, it does not do shit other than look cool. Was it just that the guy who was in charge of procuring uniform for the Jordanian police, an absolute tactical fashionista, and he was like, that blue DPM's cool, that Desert Night Grid stuff's cool, let's do that in blue and we'll just stick them together and it'll look cool. And in the end of the day, isn't that what life's about? Looking cool. Yeah, I reckon that's exactly what happened, because this serves no real effective use. Blue DPM, again, it is not really an effective camouflage pattern. In low light environments, sure, it might work, but it also makes sense in low light environments just to use the camouflage pattern you'd be using in that environment in the day. But I guess if they want to give a camouflage uniform to their police force and not have it as a military issued camouflage pattern, police are generally, they're always in blue, aren't they? So blue DPM kind of makes sense. So if you're looking for a blue DPM jacket, would I recommend going this way? Possibly. If you want a really low quality jacket that's blue DPM and night grid, something that's a bit different that not a lot of people are going to have, I mean, it could be the way to go. I'm certainly happy and pleased that it's in my collection, but if I knew this was what it was going to be like when it arrived, I might have thought twice and instead tried to source a issue Soldier 95 cut Batas Blue DPM smock, which would have been ridiculously expensive and difficult to source, but significantly better quality than this and looked a lot cooler. Or talk to USV Gear about sending them some blue DPM fabric and being, dude, make me a cool jacket that's blue DPM on one side, blue Desert Night Grid on the other side, and I think that would have been infinitely better than this jacket. Am I disappointed it's in my collection? Not at all, because I fucking love DPM and I love Night Grid, so I guess I'm really happy. If you've got any questions about this jacket, go ahead, leave them in the comments down below and I'll try and answer it. Another quick drink break because my throat is absolutely ruined. So I'm going to be doing a few more videos like this, just off the cuff, talking about interesting pieces that I've got in my collection. I will post a few items in the community section of the channel and you guys can decide which one I talk about next. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button to see when that post goes live so you guys can make the decision for me about what I sit here and talk about, hopefully with 60% less Barry Whitus in my voice. Of course, if you have really enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that like button. And if you want to support content like this in future, please feel free to go ahead, head over to patreon.com/cbnpc where you can monetarily support the channel. Obviously don't feel obligated to do so. If this video has been interesting to you, go ahead and throw $1 my way just for a month. It'll make me smile. I'll give you a thumbs up and your name will forever be immortalized on the channel in videos like this, just like these guys who have supported the channel to different extents in the past. You're all fucking rad. Even though none of you guys are patrons anymore, thank you very much for jumping on at some point in time and absolutely making my day. As always, I'm Magaz. Thanks for watching, and remember kids, the air may be soft, but our balls are hard. If you want to take a look at another video about some interesting kit, maybe check out this playlist here where I take a look at all kinds of enhanced combat trousers, all the way from wish.com all the way up to Gucci gear. Definitely worth taking a look. Oh, my throat is so sore.